Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dennis with Grass Monkey Lawn Care. Here coming at you. It's January 2018. It's 2018 already, guys. Can you believe it? Here we are, new year. And with that being said, we're going to have some new ideas for videos, a new platform set up for you going into 2018 to help generate some different kind of content to keep you guys interested, give you guys things you want to see, and kind of go, get your questions answered that you pose to me. And by doing that in this video, the first one of 2018, we're going to do that. Something we're going to do this year differently. Once a month, we're going to do a Q&A video, and basically in that video, you're just going to go over any questions that were left in the comments from the videos I do that month, and we're going to pick out 5 that I think are the best questions, and we're going to elaborate more on those questions and kind of give more feedback on different topics on that video. And also, we're going to do a shout out once a month for channels that I find that are interesting, that I came across, that I think that I enjoy, that I can pass along to you guys as well. So with that being said, guys, I went ahead and I printed off 4 or 5 questions here that were left in the comments of recent videos I've done in the past, and we're going to go over these and we're going to get into that. So with that being said, our first question, guys, is from Quick Cuts Lawn Service. Their question is basically, I find your videos very motivating. I just finished my first cut season. Dennis, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Great question. What would I do differently, guys? Well, for one, by my first season, what I would have done differently that year would have been I would have bought a better mower up front. I had that Gravely 42 ZTXL mower, guys. It was a good mower, but I wish I would have had and stepped my game up a little bit. I had the funds there. I should have just went ahead and bought more of a commercial style mower to start my first year off. I think that would have started me off on a little bit better foot heading into this past year and kind of growing into my third year. So if I had to do things over, that'd be one thing I would have done differently. I would have bought a better mower. I would have bought either a Walker or a Skag to start off with after, having the experiences on the different mowers between Gravely, John Deere, Wright, and Walkers and Skag. That's what I would have done differently, guys. And also the other thing I would have done differently too is, I would have approached the way I was doing things my first year in business differently. I would have not just decided to design a cheesy website. I would have had and spent the extra money to get me a really well-designed website that would have ranked really well to begin with, because now what I'm doing is I still have the website I created, but it's going to get rolled over by a creator who's going to redo my website here next probably January and make it where it should have been starting off. So that's another thing I would have done differently too. But great question. That was Quick Cuts Lawn Service asked that question, so very good question. Next question, guys, is going to be, and I know I'm going to screw this name up. I want to say it is Osuma Abadu. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. You're been watching my videos for a long time. I appreciate it. You always leave a lot of questions for me, so thank you for that, and thank you for watching. Here's the question, guys, or the comment. Good videos always, man. I do have a lot of accounts. I'm doing this part-time. All 10 of them are every 2 weeks. People in my immediate neighborhood don't want to pay or can't afford weekly. A few of the lawns are zoysia and the others, and that isn't too bad bi-weekly. Fescue more difficult. Can you do another in-depth video on gaining clients / marketing to go from 18 counts to 70 plus within the several months like you did? Okay, so let's cover the first part here. As far as a video on gaining clients and marketing, I've done some videos like that, but let's kind of recap that. So basically how I gained more clients, guys, was word of mouth. That was the biggest part of how I gained more clients this past season and the season before that. As long as you're doing good work, people are going to talk about you. And it's free advertising, and it gets spread around pretty quickly, especially on different platforms like the Nextdoor app. People will throw your name out there. If someone's asking for recommendations for a company, your name will get thrown out there, which will help you get more publicity in those neighborhoods because it goes out to a lot of people. But I would say word of mouth was probably the biggest way I gained a lot of clients. And then also my website was able to generate some leads for me too, even being kind of a secondary thing, with word of mouth being probably number one. As far as marketing goes, how I marketed to get new customers, I did some Facebook ads. And you got to remember, guys, with those Facebook ads, they work, but to what extent do they work? It depends on how you're marketing it. What I do is I specify on my ads certain zip codes I want to be in, and from that I'm able to really tighten my window down real small and just hit that whole area really hard, because that's where I want to kind of concentrate my work in. So if I spend $100, let's say I get 3 clients, well, that's roughly $3 grand in your pocket. So for the 100 you spend, you're getting $3 grand back. Typically, it depends on what time of the season you're getting them in, of course, and what area you're getting them in also, and this part of the country you're charging and stuff like that, and so on. And as far as the other parts of marketing goes, like I said, I mean, I don't do any door hangers or anything like that, or every door direct mail as of yet. Um, a lot of it's just been word of mouth. Now I have my truck completely wrapped. That's going to be a huge marketing tool. It's going to help brand the company greatly. I mean, I've only had it wrapped for basically a month. And when you're out driving that truck, people see you. It's just like a gigantic billboard. So, I mean, that'd be one thing I suggest too. Getting some kind of advertisement put on your truck. It could be anything from a door magnet all the way up to, half wrap, full wrapper. Just something that's got your information on your truck. So that when you're out working, driving around, people see you. And if they're in a need or if they're even pondered about, needing those services, they saw your truck. It kind of puts in their head as an idea that they saw that. And it kind of goes from there. And also make sure you have a Facebook page and a website. Those are the other things that would be huge as far as marketing goes. So good question. All right. Next one is from Billy Goat. Says, doubling your size next season is a big task. You look determined. I wish you luck. I'm sure you'll keep us updated, which I will. I would love to see videos on the details of your hiring process and the added insurance, taxes, expenses required to have an employee on board. I'm solo and near the next step to hire a helper if I decided to take on added work. I gave away several potential profitable accounts this past season due to I cannot take any new clients on. That was the same boat I was in. This is a great question because it sounds like we're kind of similar situations here between me and this gentleman here named Billy Goat that left a comment. So as far as, let's cover the first part of the question, the hiring process. So basically, guys, let me give you a little bit of background. I mean, I've said this before, but I'll recap this also. I worked in restaurants for a very long time. I've hired numerous people over the years, throughout those years in the restaurants. So I kind of take that same practice from what I did in the restaurants as far as interview process, hiring process of that, and apply it to what I'm doing currently, which I will be hiring someone in the spring. So basically my hiring process is I go on, I don't typically go on Craigslist. I'll put some on a few boards like on the buy, sell, trade, or help wanted things in the Facebook groups. And then there's like Indeed and all those that you can put your ad on, which you will tend to, I think pull more people into more of a better applicant to your company on those sites like that. The Facebook thing I just do to kind of, because you never know on those kind of things what you might or might not get. But you interview 10 to hire one, basically. You really got to be picky through the process. You've got to make sure that it's exactly the fit you want to be, because you got to remember that person is basically going to be with you a lot. So you're going to want to have to spend a lot of time with them, which means you're going to have to like that person a lot and be able to get along with them and kind of have the same type of personalities. Another thing that I look for too is their ability to listen and adapt and to take criticism when they need to. It's very important, in any business to make sure you're always upbeat and positive with your employees. But at the same time, they got to understand too, there's going to be some criticism and some things that need to be changed along the way to make sure that we're doing things the correct way and the systems that we want to install are being followed. So that's something else I look for as far as the hiring process goes. Next is the added insurance. Now, for the added insurance, I think it was costing me another $1,000 a month with my insurance to add in like the workers' comp and all that stuff, which I had already had to add in this season due to the a couple of commercial accounts I had that required it, so I already have it added in my business. But I think it was around $1,000 extra for the workers' comp stuff that you have to have put in there. And also, that's the insurance I have anyways, which, guys, I'm not real good with the insurance stuff. I mean, I have a guy that works with me that's really great, and he'll explain it all to me, and it makes sense to me. But as far as explaining it to you guys, I'll generally do my best. But on your workers' comp thing, it's basically based off how much money you think you're going to spend on payroll that year. So if you set it up, let's say at $30,000, well, you're covered because that's what they're expecting you to spend. If you spend below that, you get some money back. If you go over that, you're going to have to pay more. So, I mean, that's kind of the best way to explain that part of it. Let's see, taxes and expenses required to have an employee on board. Now, that's something that, there's some guys out there that use QuickBooks or do their own payroll. What I'm going to do is, since I'm not the greatest at those things, I'm hiring an accountant to handle the payroll taxes and the taxes for the business. I'm done dealing with that. I don't like the headache of it. I'm not a CPA. I have no idea when it comes to that stuff as far as all the ins and outs and laws and all that stuff, especially with employees. Because, guys, when I worked in restaurants, we had an office that was fully staffed of people that handled all of that stuff. We never got any of that. We entered the payroll in and they took care of the rest of it. So my advice is, I mean, if you're not real familiar with it, I would just take on the added expense of adding an accountant in and having them take care of that stuff. That way you're always guaranteed to make sure you're abiding by all the rules and laws as far as the payroll taxes and all that stuff goes. Just my opinion, guys, but that's the part I would do. And it says, let's see, he also gave away several accounts and potential profitable accounts this season because he wasn't able to do that. Well, I was in the same boat. Like, I took on as much as I could, but then the phone was still ringing. I gave away 30, 35 potential customers to a couple buddies of mine because I just didn't feel like I could add that in and, be able to maintain the standard I wanted to on my accounts without, being late or any of that jazz. So I just kind of capped it off. That's probably a big mistake I made, was not hiring sooner to just take on the additional work, because that additional work would have just basically paid for the employee at that point. So it would have been paying for the employee plus adding more money into the business. So it's a hard thing to do. I mean, I had a hard time letting go. I'm still kind of fighting it a little bit, but not as bad, because I know it's time to grow, and with that comes growing pains, which you get through and you just keep going. So that was a good question, though. All right, another question was from Acme Mowing and Lawn Care. Another good one, man. Keep preaching. What is the average size of lawns you mow? Well, here where I'm at, like I said, I'm in Wichita, Kansas. My yards vary. My largest actual residential yards, the largest one I think is like 14,000 square feet. The smallest one being probably 2,000 square feet. In between all that, I'd say the average size is right around 7,500 to 8,000 square feet lawns is what I do. They're kind of sprinkled in. Now, I do have some that are like 2 acres and 3 acres that are more commercial stuff that I also do. So just to kind of give you some ideas of the different sizes properties I encounter, at least where I live at and what I take on. So another good question. But those are the questions I had for the Q&A today, guys. Like I said, I mean, I want to do this once a month. So the only way I can do this is by you guys asking me questions down in the comment section of the videos I do have. I would definitely pick out some of those questions and answer those for you guys and continue to do this. And also for the shout out, guys. This is a channel, guys, I've been kind of falling in love with. I can't wait to see the journey. They're a really small channel at this point. They're going to get their business launched going into this next season. That'll be their first year in business. So it's kind of exciting to see it from the ground level to where they're going to take it. But I'm really stoked to see it. And that is the question I just answered. It's from Acme Mowing and Lawn Care. They're out of Oklahoma. If you guys haven't caught up their channel yet or checked out any of their videos yet, make sure you do it. It's a great video. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and leave the link for their channel down in my description, so that way you guys can go check it out. I highly recommend it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a fun adventure to go watch and see. So check them out, guys. I think it's going to be worth your while. And as always, guys, I want to thank you guys for continuing to watch this channel. Leave the likes, leave the comments, and subscribing to the channel. I'm looking forward to a great 2018. Hope everybody had a great holiday. And hope everybody's getting ready to get geared up for the season to start. I know I am. I can't wait for it to start. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, guys, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe, guys. Appreciate it.